For more than 30 years, I've watched two very different groups of patients enter my clinic. Some walk in on their own. Some are brought in with help. What most people don't realize is this. The difference between those two outcomes is rarely pain. It's rarely age. And it's almost never bad luck. It's leg strength. Quietly, gradually, week by week. After the age of 60, your legs lose strength, even if you feel fine. Not suddenly, not dramatically, but consistently. And most people don't notice until something changes. Standing up from a chair takes a second longer. Stairs feel steeper than they used to. You hesitate before stepping off a curb. You reach for furniture you never needed before. These are not normal signs of getting older. They are early signs of muscle loss. There is a medical name for this condition. It's called sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. And according to a large clinical review published by the European Working Group on Sarcopenia, in older people in 2019, adults over 60 can lose up to 3 to 5% of leg strength every single year if it is not actively challenged. That means weakness doesn't wait for your 80s. It begins now quietly, while you're still living your normal life. Here's where most well-meaning advice goes wrong. You've been told to walk more, to stay active, to get your steps in. Walking is good for your heart. It's good for circulation. It's good for mood. But walking alone does not stop leg muscle loss. A 2021 study from McMaster University followed adults aged 60 to 80 and found that habitual walking did not significantly preserve lower body strength or power, the very qualities needed to prevent falls and stand up independently. In other words, you can walk every day and still get weaker. That's not your fault. That's incomplete advice because muscle doesn't respond to movement alone. It responds to resistance. After 60, your nervous system activates fewer muscle fibers. Unless you deliberately ask for them. Your fast response balance muscles weaken first, and once they do, the body compensates by moving slower and more cautiously. That's when confidence quietly disappears. This is the real stake we're talking about today. Not fitness, not appearance, not pushing limits. Independence. The ability to rise from a chair without help. To climb stairs without gripping the railing. To recover your balance when you trip. To trust your legs again. The good news is this decline is manageable. It is reversible. And it does not require a gym. In fact, some of the most effective leg strengthening movements for adults over 60 are done sitting down. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 chair-based exercises that directly target the muscles most responsible for standing, balance, and fall prevention. They are simple, they are low risk, and they are backed by clinical research. But one of them stands above the rest, and most people completely ignore it. I'll explain why and how to use it safely at the end. You'll find all study links in the description. Before we begin, share with us in the comments your age and where you're watching from. We read and reply to every single comment. Now, without any further ado, let's start with number 5. And this one will surprise you. Exercise number 5, seated knee extension. Most people underestimate this movement because it looks easy. There's no standing, no strain, no visible effort. But medically, this movement targets one of the most important muscle groups in the aging body, the quadriceps femoris. That's the large muscle group on the front of your thigh. The quadriceps are responsible for straightening the knee. They control standing up from a chair. They stabilize you when you walk downhill. They absorb force when you miss a step. When the quadriceps weaken, the first thing people lose is confidence rising from seated positions. The second thing they lose is stare control. And shortly after that, they begin using their hands to stand. A 2018 study from the University of Pittsburgh Department of Geriatrics found that reduced quadriceps strength was one of the strongest predictors of future mobility disability in adults over 65. This muscle does not weaken suddenly. It weakens because it is no longer asked to work through its full range. Here's how this movement should be done. Sit tall in a firm chair, feet flat on the floor, hips all the way back. Slowly straighten one leg until the knee is fully extended, not forcefully, just controlled. Take 2 seconds to lift. Pause briefly at the top. Then take 3 seconds to lower the leg back down. That slow lowering phase is critical. That's where the muscle actually rebuilds. Start with 8 to 10 repetitions per leg, 1 to 2 sets, once per day. If that feels easy after 2 weeks, add a third set. Later, you can add light ankle weights, but only when the movement stays smooth. Orthopedic surgeons recommend this exercise because it strengthens the knee without compressing it. There's no impact, no twisting, and no joint loading beyond what the knee is designed to handle. Functionally, this exercise directly improves your ability to stand up, sit down, and control your body weight safely. Now, let's move to number 4. And this one addresses a muscle group most people don't even realize exists until it fails. The exercise number 4, seated heel raises. This movement is commonly ignored because people associate calf strength with athletics. But medically, the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles, your calf muscles, are balance muscles first. They control ankle stability. They correct your body when you sway. They are your first line of defense when you trip. A 2020 balance study from Kyoto University in Japan found that reduced calf strength significantly increased fall risk in adults over 70, independent of overall fitness level. Here's the key point. You don't fall because you're weak everywhere. You fall because one system fails to react fast enough. This exercise trains that system. Sit upright in your chair, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Slowly lift both heels, keeping the balls of your feet on the ground. Rise up as high as you comfortably can. Take 2 seconds up. Pause briefly, then 3 seconds to lower. Back down. Perform 10 to 15 repetitions. 2 sets. As strength improves, progress to single leg heel raises, 1 foot at a time. Orthopedically, this movement improves ankle stability without stressing the knee or hip. Functionally, it improves balance recovery and walking confidence. This is one of the simplest fall prevention exercises we prescribe. Now, we move to number 3, and this one begins connecting strength with coordination. Exercise number 3, seated marching. This exercise is often mistaken for a warm-up. It is not. When performed correctly, it strengthens the hip flexors, the lower abdominal stabilizers, and the deep muscles that control pelvic balance. These muscles determine how well you clear your foot. When you walk, they prevent shuffling. They reduce tripping. A 2019 study from Monash University in Australia showed that improving hip flexor strength significantly reduced gait instability in adults over 65. Here's how to perform it properly. Sit tall. Do not lean back. Lift one knee toward your chest slowly, only as high as you can control. Lower it slowly, then alternate legs. Tempo matters here. 2 seconds up, 3 seconds down. Perform 10 repetitions per side, 1 to 2 sets. If balance allows, remove your hands from the chair arms. That forces the core and hips to stabilize together. Surgeons recommend this movement because it restores coordination between the legs and trunk, something that quietly declines with age. Functionally, this improves walking fluidity, step clearance, and confidence in motion. Now, before we go any further, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it and subscribe. We've got more powerful senior health tips videos coming every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. The next 2 exercises are where real strength preservation happens. And number 1 is the most overlooked movement in senior health. We now move to number 2. And this is where we shift from simple muscle activation to something far more important after 60. Control. Exercise number 2, seated sit back. Control. Partial chair squat return. Most people think strength loss causes falls. Clinically, that's only half the truth. What actually causes many falls is the loss of controlled deceleration, the ability to slow your body down. The muscles responsible for this are the gluteus maximus, the hamstrings, and the deep stabilizers around the hip joint. These muscles don't just help you stand, they help you sit safely. A 2020 study from the University of British Columbia found that older adults who lacked controlled sitting strength were more than twice as likely to experience balance-related falls within 12 months. Here's why this matters. Every time you sit down quickly, plop into a chair, or collapse onto a surface, your brain learns to avoid that movement over time, you start avoiding standing and sitting altogether. That's how independence shrinks. Here's how to perform this exercise safely. Sit at the front edge of a sturdy chair, feet flat, hip width apart. Cross your arms lightly over your chest or keep hands hovering near the armrests for safety. Lean forward slightly from the hips. Begin to stand up just a few inches, then slowly lower yourself back down. The key here is the lowering. Take 4 to 5 seconds to sit back down. Slow, controlled, quiet. Start with 6 to 8 repetitions, 1 to 2 sets every other day. As strength improves, increase the depth of the rise. Eventually, this becomes a full sit to stand with controlled descent. Orthopedic surgeons recommend this movement because it trains the exact muscle pattern required for daily life without joint overload. Functionally, this improves confidence, hip strength, and fall prevention during transitions. Now, we arrive at number 1. This is the exercise that determines whether your legs merely move or whether they protect you. Exercise number 1, seated. Leg press hold, isometric push. This is the most overlooked exercise in senior health because it doesn't look like exercise, but neurologically it is one of the most powerful ways to preserve leg strength after 60. This movement trains isometric strength, the ability to generate force without joint movement. And that's exactly what your body does when you catch yourself from falling. The primary muscles involved are the quadriceps, gluteals, and hamstrings working together as a unit. A landmark 2017 study from the University of Copenhagen showed that isometric leg strength training improved functional performance and reduced fall risk in adults over 70, even without dynamic movement. Here's how to do it. Sit upright in your chair, feet flat on the floor. Press both feet firmly into the ground as if you're trying to stand, but do not stand. Hold that push for 10 seconds. Breathe normally. Do not strain. Relax. Repeat 5 times, once per day. As this becomes easier, increase the hold to 15 seconds. This exercise teaches your nervous system how to activate muscle fibers quickly and safely. Orthopedic surgeons recommend it because it strengthens the legs without joint motion. Ideal for painful knees or hips. Functionally, this improves reaction strength, balance recovery, and confidence when unexpected movement occurs. And this is why it matters. When you stumble, you don't have time to think. Your legs must respond instantly. This exercise trains that response. We've now covered all 5 movements. But knowing exercises is not enough. What matters is how they fit into your life. That's what we'll clarify next. Let's take a moment to bring everything together. Because strength after 60 isn't built by doing more. It's built by doing what matters. Today, we focused on 5 chair-based movements. Each one targeted a different system your legs rely on every day. Your quadriceps, which lift you from a chair. Your calves, which steady you when you sway. Your hips, which clear your feet as you walk. Your glutes and hamstrings, which control sitting and standing. And finally, your nervous system's ability to activate strength instantly. Together, these movements address the real priorities of aging well. Balance, mobility, independence, not chasing. Fitness, preventing decline. And notice something important. None of this required a gym. None of this required expensive equipment. None of this required pushing through pain. What it required was targeted resistance for just a few minutes a few days per week. That's enough. Clinically, we know that even 2 to 3 short sessions per week of properly selected lower body resistance can slow muscle loss, improve balance, and preserve function well into the later decades of life. Progress does not need to be aggressive. It needs to be consistent. Small controlled movements, gradual progression. Listening to your body. That's how strength stays with you. At this stage of life, it's not about adding years. It's about adding movement to every year you have. If you'd like, tell us in the comments which exercise you'll start with first. We read every comment and your experience helps others watching feel less alone. And if you want more clear, science-backed guidance on staying strong, steady, and independent as you age, consider subscribing. New videos are released regularly, all focused on helping you move with confidence for as long as possible. You're not late. You're not behind. And your body is still very capable of responding when it's guided correctly.